Hello guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. It is time once again for us to talk about a pretty famous and successful cartoon series and how that exactly ended. This series takes us through a lot of Looney-Tunes style comic adventures and fight scenes, but it is all run by a group of 10-year-olds. Yes, that's right. Today we'll be talking about none other than Codename Kids Next Door. After 6 whole seasons of zany humor and gag comedy, candy-based missions, and a topsy-turvy world where kids ran spy organizations, this show came to an end with a finale that is practically unforgettable. They gave us a finale that promised us more of KND, but we are still waiting for it. So what happened to that? What did the ending really entail? Let's go find out. A kid's cartoon about kids running the world. So before we get into the depths of this show, let me tell you what Kids Next Door is all about. KND, released on December 6, 2002, follows Sector V, which is a squad of mainly 5 10-year-old kids from numbers 1 through 5, who are part of a global organization of kids who fight against adult tyranny worldwide. Adult tyranny being assigning homework to kids, forcing them to floss, doctor appointments, and many such children-based activities. These kids work from a highly equipped treehouse, while their transportation ranges from literal toilet-based rockets to homemade submarines. Everything is mostly made out of common household items. To top all of this, they also have to fight against Father, one of their main villains, and delightful children from down the lane, DCF-DTL, quite frequently. Yeah, the absurdity of this show never ends. But the reason the premiere of this show is so important is because it has the ending written in it already. The kids, once they turn 13, are decommissioned, which is a process of wiping clean children's memory and every information of KND they ever had. This very well means that the show cannot last endlessly. It has to end one day. All the characters shown here have a timed presence and will outgrow the KND age limit someday or the other. And that's when the show will end. Being a kid is not just a phase, it is their entire operating identity. However, under all this nonsense and comedy, there is a serious underlayer about childhood, independence, and what it means to grow out of the world you built. The show constantly jokes about teenagers being the traitors and adults being the ultimate villains and oppressors. But it is an irrefutable fact that even the kids will one day grow up to be of that age. Then what? What happens when these kids grow up? This question has been in the minds of many, and rightfully so. 6 seasons, a movie, and a secret bigger war. Now let's go through what all Kids Next Door actually gave us. A full 6 seasons, some specials, and even a TV movie that introduces us to the past of one of the operatives' family. So, Codename Kids Next Door premiered on 6 December 2002 and ran for a total of 6 seasons with 81 episodes up until the finale in 2008. They focused on defeating adult tyranny that forced children to eat vegetables, floss regularly, denying them from recess, and one of the most recurring ones being not being shared the birthday cake that DCF-DTL have for themselves. Yes, every season has had at least one episode that focused on Sector V stealing the birthday cake from delightful children from down the lane, who had refused to share the cake with the other kids and then redistribute it among the others. By the time season 6 rolled in, and so did the movie, Operation Zero, a much larger plot had started taking shape. There were many hints being dropped about how there is more to the story than was being shown for so long. We can see Splinter Cell, a mysterious faction within the KND, quietly watching and observing Number 1, for reasons currently unknown to the kids as well as the viewers. The kids also soon start discovering that what they thought of Moonbase to be their only headquarters was very wrong, and that there were many more organizations globally with many other headquarters. There was a supreme leader even above them. Things had started to get more serious. To make things easier to understand, we need to look at the movie. Operation Zero, which came out in August 2006, made a lot of things clear about the mythology and storyline of KND. The acronym of this movie stands for Zero Explanation Reveals Origins. It revealed how Number 1's father, Monty Uno, was once also a major part of KND. More specifically, was Number 0, who practically founded what the kids these days call the modern era of KND. Not only that, he had also defeated the supervillain of his times, the Grandfather. Another important piece that this movie uncovered was the history of DCF-DTL and how they had initially been part of Sector Z, but were kidnapped and brainwashed by Father many years earlier. And again, as a cherry on the cake, it was also revealed how Father was somehow Nigel's uncle, Nigel Uno being our Number 1, subsequently making villain Grandfather Nigel's actual grandfather. Yeah, this movie indeed has a lot of layers to it, but this was exactly the purpose of the movie, laying the groundwork for a much bigger revelation in the finale, a finale that was 44 minutes long. Cartoon Network actually announced the final mission. Before we move into the details of the finale, there is one unusual thing that happened, which viewers do not usually anticipate, but it was very enjoyable nonetheless. Unlike a lot of 2000s cartoons, KND had actually gotten a marketed finale. It was the 21st of January 2008, and CN had built an entire broadcast event around the finale. There was a marathon of the creator Tom Warburton's favorite episodes, handpicked, and a countdown that led to the almost 1 hour finale of the show. Now, Operation Interviews felt more important than ever. Fans knew going in that this would be the last of KND, so every punchline, every joke cracked, every character appearance felt a bit heavier. They realized the show isn't endless, but let's hit the pause button. Now, this finale wasn't like any other usual finales. It was framed around live-action interviews with adults numbers 2 through 5, recommissioned years later to talk about what happened to number 1 on his final mission. This was a very uncommon and novel thing for a cartoon series to do, bringing in live-action components to an animated series for kids. This was the first time the series had showed Sector V members as grown-up adults, confirming that the kids eventually do grow up. Let's look at what Tom Warburton had to say about the making of the show. So, how could we come up with a story gahoogic enough to wrap up 6 seasons? How about a worldwide scavenger hunt? How about almost every character that's ever been on the show making an appearance? How about the final giant huge reveal of the Galactic KND? And a big fat sloppy weepy goodbye? And how about live action interviews with the KND after they become adults? Operation Interviews, The Last Cake, The Last Mission. Now, let's go through what had actually happened in the finale. The last mission starts like many other Sector V adventures does, by stealing the birthday cake from delightful children from down the lane, DCFDTL. However, this time someone else beat them to it. What do I mean by that? Well, some mysterious boy stole the cake from DCFDTL even before the Sector V kids could reach the place. Not only did he steal the cake, but he also made a public broadcast challenging everyone to a scavenger hunt. Whoever could solve his scavenger hunt first would get the cake. It was simple, but things started getting crazy after that announcement. Any and everyone, like quite literally, including the Sector V kids and the DCFDTL kids themselves, and even their enemies, all started frantically solving the scavenger hunt. Parallel to this, scenes would switch to the interviews of the grown-up Sector V members from time to time. Now, you must be thinking how the former Sector V members are giving the interview if they are all decommissioned, but this is also explained in the finale. They are temporarily brought out of the decommissioned haze to help answer questions about the group's last mission, and the interviews are structured in such a way that each member has to recount different parts of the mission, while the animated sequences cut back and forth between perspectives. And who might be the interviewer? We are yet to know that. But over the period of the interview, one thing gets clear, and that is that the strange interviewer does not seem to be interested in the cake or their mission at all. Instead, he seems more interested about the whereabouts of number 1 and what might have happened to him. Meanwhile, the scavenger hunt seems to have escalated. It has forced different KND sectors and villains to collide. All the previously used 2x4 technology to be brought back one last time, and all of this has led to a massive chaotic chase. We see the KND at full global scale one last time. In the midst of all this, Sector V kids and the delightful children cross paths once again, while they continue to look for the clues. It is an organized mayhem. Yes, organized, because apparently there is a much bigger reason behind this scavenger hunt and all the chaos that has ensued. Remember the mysterious boy? Yep, it is a secret mission. Galactic Kids Next Door, number 1 leaves Earth. This is where a lot of fan assumptions start taking their true shape. The existence of intergalactic organization. Yep, Season 6 have been dropping hints of something bigger since the beginning, and a lot of fans had rightfully caught up to it as well. Let's see what this is all about. As the scavenger hunt unfolds, a bigger puzzle piece starts making sense. The whole hunt was a setup. The mysterious boy, the spontaneous decision of a scavenger hunt, the list of clues majorly hinting at a lot of Sector V's previously completed missions, all of it was for a test as part of an elaborate plan of recruitment, specifically of Operative Number 1. Now, let's neatly examine what happened. What exactly was the test? A method to test our Number 1 skills. Who designed it? The covert Splinter Cell who had been secretly observing Number 1 since the beginning. And who sent the Splinter Cell? The Galactic Kids Next Door. Yep, the GKND. Seemingly, KND doesn't exist just on Earth. It's not just a global thing, but an intergalactic business. It is responsible responsible for protecting kids across the entire galaxy and not just Earth. After observing Nigel Uno for a long time, they have found him to be the perfect recruit for GKND. As the climax develops, he is given a very hard choice to make: stay on Earth and continue being part of Sector V until the decommissioning age, after which he would become like any other normal kid, or join the Force in the GKND and skip the decommissioning completely and continue fighting adult tyranny on a cosmic scale. And he chooses to leave. The farewell scene is definitely a tearjerker. At the end, we can see him leaving in a space shuttle, leaving his friends and family behind, which is definitely not an easy thing for a kid to do. Then the scene pans back to the interviews, where it is suddenly revealed who the interviewer is. It was Father the whole time, the show's main antagonist. He had apparently gathered the former members to originally extract information about Number One's location and current status in the GKND. But what he did not know is that Number 5, Abigail Lincoln, had been in contact with Nigel throughout and knew about the true identity of the interviewer and was deliberately misleading him from Nigel. And the team was in on it too. The team had outsmarted him one last time as adults, and it felt like just another KND adventure. The episode comes to an end then, with Number 1 still alive and working for GKND, while the Sector V members outwitted Father one more time. The show closes with the end credits with Sector V members outside their treehouse, appreciating a good sunset, while Number 3 is seen waving a goodbye, with the words "Stay young" above it. What a crazy end, isn't it? The kids we knew, all grown up. So like brought up earlier, what actually happens when the kids grow up? This is exactly what the finale answered for us. Operation Interviews, it's now the extra really interesting end wrap-up story, showed us how the kids turn out to be once they become adults. They definitely don't become the traitors or villains the kids thought all teens and adults are. At least not all. These kids didn't. All the adult numbers are played by real live action actors and portray members who are well settled in adult life, yet are still recognizable even after a lot of change. Their personalities may have matured, but their core identities still remain very much the same. For instance, Number 2 is still very gadget-loving and a terrible jokes person. Number 3 still has that chaotic and upbeat nature in her. Number 4 is still very impulsive and brash, but somehow has still managed to get a medical degree from Harvard. And finally, Number 5. She is still that cool and composed brain of the group, the one who secretly plays and controls the whole game. Now, another interesting revelation is the members' relationship status. It is confirmed in Operation Interviews that Number 3 and Number 4 have gotten married, along with Number 2 marrying Number 5. This is all revealed at the end, post-interview. Now, as per protocol, the memories of all operatives should have been wiped clean at the age of 13, yes, but even the decommissioning process can be faulty sometimes. This way, some of them still end up remembering things from the KND days. Maybe that is what happened with Abby and the rest, because no clear reasoning has been provided as to how Abby could keep her connection with Nigel otherwise. Their bond in KND was so strong that perhaps it was hard for the members to forget everything. Who knows? And that is the emotional crux of the finale. The show spent many seasons portraying adulthood as the root of all evil, and painted many teens and adults as villains. So when the finale rolls in with such a different perspective, it complicates things a bit. It reveals how kids do end up growing, and when they do so, they are not all villains. They still fight for kids, but in different ways now. Comics, extra missions, and where the story quietly continued. Now, apart from being on the television, Codename Kid Next Door has also been featured in several comic books, such as Top Secret Files, Operation Snow Globe, Operation Math, and many more. For instance, Operation Meatball follows the story of Sector V stopping a giant meatball from destroying Moonbase. Operation Smuggle is one of the last official stories, which was released around the time of the show's end. There were even publications in the anthology comic books such as Cartoon Cartoons, Cartoon Network Block Party, and even Cartoon Network Action Pack from DC Comics. The members have also been featured in 2x4 Technology Handbook and Super Secrets and Boomerang Bloopers. However, one thing to keep in mind is that these comics served for extra missions of KND set during the main series run and aren't some reboots or alternate universe concepts. Talking about extra missions, we cannot forget their feature in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, where they actually made appearances many times. The show's proper crossover happened in The Grim Adventures of the KND. Other series where they made cameo appearances include Mad, Villainous, Jellystone, etc. Galactic Kids Next Door, the sequel that exists in everything but animation. So what happened to Galactic Kids Next Door? This topic has been driving fans around the same internet forums and Reddit for years now. Although GKND was a perfectly planned sequel, it hasn't been turned into an actual series yet, but has existed in other mediums like in scripts, animatics, and even a conventional panel reading. The series would follow the same members from CKND, but aged up as teens now, working for the top authority in their hierarchy, Galactic Kids Next Door. However, the struggle for turning this teaser script into an actual series has been a lot more difficult than initially anticipated. Originally, Warburton had taken the script to the Cartoon Network executives, who kept rejecting it for a long time. It wasn't long after that when he decided to use a different tactic. He produced a small animatic piece for GKND and released it online in March 2015, pseudonymously, and silently watched the chaos erupt. By April of the same year, there was a fan-made petition that demanded GKND to be picked up and made into a full series, signed by Warburton and D. Bradley Baker themselves. But even this did not make CN budge from their decision. After attempting to convince CN, Warburton turned to Warner Brothers, who now owned the rights to KND. Then, years later, Mr. Warburton came forward with the status of the sequel during a nostalgic Comic-Con happening in Texas in August 2025, and disclosed what was happening. "We are always trying to get Warner Brothers interested in just like, hey, look at this great thing we've got. We have got a lot of people really interested in it. So we wrote a little teaser script." After dropping this piece of information, the creator took this Comic-Con as an opportunity to read the script out live, to gather more public support for his script. The live reading was done alongside the original voice actors of KND, Lauren Tom, D. Bradley Baker, Benjamin Diskin, and Cree Summer. However, despite all this hard work, WB has been showing no interest or any intention of giving his script a shot. So as of now, there is still no official GKND series out, and the finale remains the only canon GKND content. And one last thing to make clear, Galactic Kids Next Door functions both as an in-universe promotion for Nigel, as well as an out-of-universe pilot hook for a show that has only existed in scripts and animatics. So how did Codename Kids Next Door actually end? Let me summarize the whole thing in a crisp manner now. CKND officially ended on January 21st, 2008, with a 44 minutes long finale named Operation Interviews, which was marketed well by Cartoon Network, and this finale unveiled a lot of backstory and material for a sequel. We see the Sector V members all grown up and witness how the scavenger hunt turns out to be a test to recruit number 1 for GKND, which he accepts and then proceeds to leave in a space shuttle. His friends stay behind, and it is insinuated that they still continue to protect kids worldwide. This storyline gives base for the sequel GKND then, but the script is yet to be brought to life. Conclusion. Well, now we have come to the end of this video, and unlike the other times when we bring up cartoon videos, this time it was very different. It is atypical of 2000s cartoon shows to announce their finale, let alone market it so grandly, and yet here we are with Codename Kids Next Door. Not only did they do a great job with the finale, they also answered a lot of persistent questions by the fans, such as, what happens when the kids grow up? What happened to the relationships of the Sector V members? Is growing up really that black and white? And many such others. Now the only thing missing is the sequel. This finale was both a proper goodbye and a pilot for GKND. Pretty sad, honestly. But do let us know what you thought of the finale down in the comments below. Also, let us know if you would like to watch the sequel if it came out anytime soon. And that is all for today, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.